This news update is brought to you by...
They ask us how we do it, how we outrun the world. They ask us, how does it feel to fly? How do we dive headfirst into the deep? And emerge victorious. They ask us if we're afraid, if we're nervous, or if we ever feel lonely, so far away from home. But the truth is, home is always right here with us. Get ready to witness the magic of the Olympic Games like never before.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update. It's Friday, August 26th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The shooting death of Andre Hinds has left his family devastated. The 47-year-old resident of Northumberland, St. Lucie, was killed by two armed men who broke into his home sometime after 10 last night. His distraught mother, Marlene Hinds, tells Barbados Today her son was a good man.
He was very good. He was very good. He was good to everybody. Nobody can give him a bad character. And it got me weak and shaky.
The deceased man's sister, Lisa Hinds, also spoke to Barbados Today about what took place.
They were watching television and they hear a noise. My brother and my sister, my brother and his wife, they hear a noise. And then the voice said, Andre, something like it dropped. And they went and looked, and it wasn't nothing. And then they came back, continued watching the television, and they hear the door coming off. They had a crowbar to take off the door, and they actually take off the whole complete door. And then they bow in and start shooting, right? And then they say, give me where y'all got. And they start pointing the gun at her because my brother Dane was on the ground laying down, right? And then they put the gun at her and she said, but me pregnant. And they say, well, you give me where you got everything.
Police are actively investigating this latest shooting, and they are asking anyone with information related to the probe to contact the police emergency number 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS, that's 1-800-8477, the Crab Hill Police Station at 310-7700 or 7701, or the nearest police station. In other news this Friday, there is no mistaking that consumers will have to pay more for goods when the Social Responsibility Levy takes effect next Thursday. So says economist Dr. Troy Lord. During the recent budget, Finance Minister Chris Sinclair announced the 2% tax, which will be applied to imports. It is expected to raise an additional $142 million in revenue. Dr. Lord says in the current environment, businesses have little to no room, and the increased cost will be passed on to consumers.
So when you hear 2% on that end, remember all taxes are compounded. So if it's 2% increase, it depends on, it doesn't really matter where, because stuff is imported, there's the duties applied, there's the VAT applied, and then if this tax is on at the end, then there's this 2% tax on the end of it. It goes to a wholesaler. When he has this stuff, when he then sells them, he has to apply VAT. It comes to the final retailer, he has to apply VAT as well, plus whatever his markup is, and so on and so forth. So one of the things is, by the time 2% feeds through to the final retail price, it will be more than 2%. So whatever that calculation is, it could be 4%, 5%, depends on the various markups by wholesalers and retailers and whatnot. So something that imports for $1, you can add the duty, you can add the VAT, you can add the 2%, going through different stages where VAT has to be applied. The final thing to the consumer will be certainly greater than 2%.
The Minister of International Business, Donville Innes, is not happy with some aspects of the recent World Bank Doing Business report on Barbados. In fact, he describes some areas as very erroneous, and he says his office will write officials of the International Bank on the matter. Innes made the comments as he delivered the feature address at this morning's annual International Business Workshop at the Hilton Hotel.
As per usual, the report is very erroneous in some areas, especially in relation to the length of time to incorporate the company, to engage on some insolvency matters, and to obtain some permits. And once again, my office has been instructed to write to the World Bank, outlining their errors and providing the evidence to the contrary. Secondly, I question the sincerity of some of the respondents who provided information to the World Bank. Far too often we have service providers and professionals who get great service 99% of the time and never share such wonderful experiences with anyone. But take great pleasure in going on the world arena when at 1% of the time they get an unsatisfactory response or experience delays. But perhaps such is human nature.
In the meantime, he says, as a nation, providers must do better with service levels.
We must not settle for mediocrity in either the public or private sectors. As members of a professional body, I can only encourage you accountants to act professionally at all times. After all you have is your reputation, and all Barbados has is its reputation. We can complement one another. Earlier this week, I had a brief review of some of the workings of the Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office, and I've given instruction for additional staff and a change in policies to give effect to an enhanced customer experience.
In sports, come October, the West Indies will play Pakistan in the first day-night test match in Dubai using the newly minted pink ball. The first test starts October 13, while Abu Dhabi and Suraj will host the second and third tests from October 21 and October 30, respectively. West Indies tour of the United Arab Emirates starts on September 23rd and comprises 3 T20 internationals, 3 one-day internationals, and 3 tests.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, 220. Who? For what? That's the bear still news. I don't read about that on Barbados today since last night. That can't only can't do. 220. Who?
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
To news from the region, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says the country is on course to rebuild better 1 year after the passage of Tropical Storm Erika. Skerrit was delivering an address to the nation earlier today to mark the first anniversary of the most devastating storm to hit the country in over 3 decades. Erika claimed 31 lives and left 500 homes destroyed, with several communities cut off. The storm left a trail of destruction in its wake, valued at $1 billion EC dollars.
The process of rebuilding is not one that can be rushed, and the reality is that replacing and rebuilding the entire damaged infrastructure and resettling displaced persons is a mammoth task. This government is determined to build a stronger, more resilient Dominica. This concept will be applied to our construction practices and, very importantly, to architectural and engineering designs. There will be greater emphasis placed on environmental issues, and this will be appropriately reflected in our overall national land use policy. Simply put, we will build to create a more secure future for current and future generations from any and all eventualities down the road.
CARICOM extends its sympathy to the government and people of Italy following Wednesday's deadly earthquake. CARICOM's Secretary General, Ambassador Erwin Larocque, also informed the country that the Caribbean community hopes that rescue teams are successful in their efforts to save those who have survived and may still be trapped under the rubble. He expressed confidence that the determination and the will of the people of Italy will ensure that they overcome this tragedy and rebuild their lives and their communities. Reports say some 250 people lost their lives during the 6.2 magnitude earthquake. The rock condolences come as hundreds of aftershocks continue to rock the devastated areas of central Italy, hampering rescue efforts. More in this report from the BBC.
The ground has just shaken again here, and the effects were tremendous. Just have a look over here, and you'll see all that dust has been caused by the new aftershock. I'm not even sure what to call it, but we heard and we felt the entire tarmac here, the entire ground move. And have a look there, there are these firemen or rescue workers, I can't work out which department they come from. They're running down here because the worry at the moment will be that rescue workers who are down there, you can see in the dust already working, that they might now have been caught in this aftershock which really rattled all the buildings here. And that is the biggest movement we felt here since we've been in Amatrice. It just goes to show that this is still a very dangerous and uncertain place.
And that's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper email updates and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izuni Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports all weekend long. We'll be back on Monday.